It's going to be risky again for the Panhard. He's actually pushed over the steward. He's actually pushed over the steward. And this is 500 IQ play here from the Panhard. This is what you don't see in public lobbies. What an amazing move there by the Panhard. So much postscriptum content lately. Oh, the match has started. Never mind. The match has started. Enough of me. Enough of me chatting away. The match has started. So we'll quickly go over the German tanks again. So we've got WFT with Broken 21 using a 223. Along with them, WFT again using a Panhard. Over in the center, we've got two P2s manned by Storm, Bread, and Raven. And then finally, we're one Puma going out manned by Nickelman of Storm and Brander. How often do I live stream? I live stream every weekday and also every weekend at the moment. Or every weekday starting from 3 PM UK. So we'll go over here. So it looks like the 223 and the Panhard are breaking up. It looks like the Panhard is going to go out on its own. I appreciate the follow, man. Thank you. I forgot to turn the alerts off. I'm just going to turn all that off so it don't interrupt the sound. There we go. In the center, we have Broke 21 leading with the 223, followed by Storm, Keckelman in the Puma. A little further behind them, obviously a little bit slower, the P2s. The P2s are actually really slow. Despite their relevant lightweight compared to other tanks, the P2s are actually quite slow. I mean, obviously they are a 1940s tank, so they're lacking in technological advancements compared to other tanks, but they are quite slow. Over on the defense point now, we have a steward here, very well hidden. Look at this steward. Look at this camouflage here. This is going to be the advantage of the allies. Obviously, green tanks on Drell. Lots of camouflage, lots of places for them to hide. They're also very low profile. So we've got one steward there. We've got a Daimler. And rotating at the back. I don't know what we actually have rotating at the back. But that steward, looks like we've got one steward holding the perimeter. And then we've got two Daimlers going out into the field. Patrolling around. So we'll go back over here now. You can see we've got a 223 moving forward a little bit with the Puma slightly behind him. My prediction goes to the allies for this game. A little bit biased. I do prefer the allied tanks over the German tanks. But the Daimler and the Staghound, their speed, the power of their guns, along with the accuracy, it's hard to beat. Are the teams equal? Both teams are equal. It looks like we've got 12 players on each side. So both teams are equal in numbers. And it looks like both teams are fielding a crew of 2 per tank. So we've got the first tank, the first exchange going out over here. We'll zoom across. We've got the P2 under fire here from, it looks like a Staghound from behind. Shot coming in from the Staghound, hitting the P2 here. The P2 looking for where he's being engaged from. Another shot. It looks like this P2 might go down here. One more shot from the Sib guys in that Staghound. Getting a bounce. The P2 has found the Staghound now. The Staghound is struggling to pierce the P2, and it looks like the P2 is struggling to pierce the Staghound in return. Finally, one shot pierced the Staghound. A second shot missing from the Staghound there, so the P2 will survive. Doing minimal damage though. We've got the P2 over here taking engagement, taking hits from the steward. P2 very weak. We've got the Daimler sneaking up the road, probably trying to pierce the P2, sandwich it. This Staghound using its speed, using its agility to get behind the P2 to try to finish it off. The P2 has done a lot of damage to the Staghound, but it looks like this P2, if the Staghound can hit one more hit, will take this P2 out. The P2 is very close to death. This P2 has gone down. It looks like that P2 was destroyed by the steward that was hiding in the trees. The Staghound is struggling to finish off this P2, and the P2 has done a lot of damage to the Staghound, but there goes the P2, so that is 2 dead P2s there from the Germans. We'll zoom on over to the Puma now. The Puma from the Germans has taken a little bit of damage. He's looking to get a cheeky shot, trying to hide behind the bushes and the buildings. So we'll just do a recount of the damage. So we saw the P2 did do damage to the Staghound, but it was just struggling to pierce the frontal armor of the Staghound. The Staghound does have the most armor compared to the Daimler, and its frontal armor is angled, so it is hard to land those shots with a small gun such as the P2. We've got the Daimler in support there. So it looks like the Puma only took minor damage because it has been repaired by the wrench. A shot going out there from the Puma. It looks like he fired at the Staghound but missed his shot. We'll go on board with the Puma now. Can they fix their tanks? There are repair stations, and obviously they do have wrenches, so they can fix minor damage with wrenches. So if their engine gets destroyed, for example, they are able to get out and repair their engine. So the admins have called a respawn. So the Germans are able to respawn now and call in some more tanks. This Puma is in a tough situation though. You can see he's pretty much surrounded on both sides. There is a Daimler here on this side, looking out for the Puma. And there's a Daimler on the other side, also slowly trying to sneak up on the Puma. The Puma taking a hit there, taking a big hit there. It looks like he took a hit from the Staghound. And there goes the Puma. The Puma was destroyed by the steward, sorry. It was the steward pushing down the main road. But it looks like the Panhard. The Panhard here from the WFT guys snuck behind the Daimler and was able to take out one of the Allied tanks. So at the moment, it's 1 destroyed Allied tank to 3 destroyed German tanks. That Panhard being very good. Good thing about the Panhard, it does have a quiet engine. You got to think about these tanks. These tanks are recon tanks. They are lighter tanks. Their engine sounds are quieter, so they are able to sneak up closer. Especially the tanks that aren't tracked. So you've got obviously the Daimler, you've got the Panhard, you've got the Staghound. You've also got the 2-2 vehicles from the Germans. They're all wheeled tanks. They don't have tracks, so they tend to be a little bit more quieter. That is how this Panhard was able to sneak behind the Daimler so close. So close behind the Daimler. Even though the Daimler had his engine off, the Panhard was able to sneak behind him. So, good start there to the Allies, taking out 3 of the German tanks, only losing 1 of their own. But you got to say, the Germans lost 2 Panzer IIs. Panzer IIs aren't meant to fight tanks. Panzer IIs are not meant to fight tanks. They're meant to do infantry support. So the Germans losing their infantry support tanks early on, not too bad really. I mean, they did lose a Puma, but they have 5 Pumas, so they've got 4 left now. We've got the Panhard here from the Germans. Looks like he's trying to sneak forward. He might know the location of someone, or he might have spotted someone. You can hear him. He's turned his engine off. He's gliding forward. So what he's doing is turning his engine on in burst. And he did just see someone through the barn there. 1 shot going out. It was a bounce on a Daimler. Second good hit there on the Daimler. But this Panhard now, he is outnumbered. He needs to be careful. There is a steward close by. They are pushing forward. There's the steward. The steward's going to have a shot on this Panhard. So they're 1 shot. The WFT guys did manage to kill the Daimler, but now he is pinned by the steward, and the turning speed of the turret of the steward was able to take out the Panhard. But good exchange there from the WFT guys, managing to take out 2 Daimlers with their Panhard. I was just zooming on their names again. It's hard to see their names, but it was the WFT guys. So they did manage to destroy 2 tanks for their 1 Panhard. We'll zoom on over to the main road now. You can see another German tank has moved forward. It looks like a second P2. Crewed by Breadhead and Doom Catalyst. Taking 1 shot there from the Daimler. Second shot there does pierce the Pier 2. Third shot bouncing. Panhard doing a good thing, getting behind the buildings. He didn't know where the shot came from, so what he did immediately, reverse, get into cover, put his frontal armor where he thinks the shots are coming from. So great work there by the driver of the P2, knowing the danger.
We're holding here on the jump out repair. You shoot anything that you can see.
So you hear Doom then repairing the P2. They probably took some minor damage. They do have support from behind. There is a second P2 behind the Germans. The second P2 taking some damage there, but it was a bounce. So now the Daimler is out. The Daimler is now outmanned. And there, you just saw the P2 there managed to destroy the, managed to kill the gunner of the Daimler. So shots from the P2 piercing the turret and killing the gunner of the Daimler. So now it's just Shorzy on his own. He's going to have to retreat and pick up a new gunner. You've got the P2s pushing forward, but there is another tank here from the Allies. Is that the Stuart tank? It is the Stuart tank. The Stuart tank is perched a little bit on that bank, but he's going to get a shot at the P2 here. First shot, bounce. The P2 going to back up. A second shot there, bounce. Actually doing damage there. Third shot going on. I think this P2 might get destroyed here. He didn't angle his armor. A miss from the Stuart. The Stuart is taking a lot of damage here. The Stuart is actually going to go down if he does not retreat. And there goes the Stuart. So great work there from Storm. They just zoom on those names. Stormbro, Nizam, and Raven. Great work there. They got a little bit lucky though. That Stuart missing two crucial shots. Could have actually killed the P2 there. But the advantage has now switched to the Germans. So there is a Staghound from the Civ guys. Come forward, getting one shot here on the P2, but the P2 bouncing that shot. The P2 spinning around to try angle his armor. The Staghound moving in closer. Second shot from the Staghound, sadly missing. Third shot, great shot there from the Staghound, piercing the turret. And I think this P2 might go down here. That P2, just breathe on this P2 now. This P2 will be dead. Can the Staghound finish him off? Bounce there from the Staghound. And there goes the Staghound getting a kill on that P2, manned by Sib Wills and Sweet Tack. Meanwhile, however, so just to confuse any confusion, the Germans are blue, the Allies are red, where you see their names. So meanwhile, that Staghound killing the P2, but he has been ambushed by a Puma here who snuck around onto the objective and landed a great shot on that Staghound. Look how low health that Staghound is after one shot. That is the power of the Puma this game. That will be the power of the Puma this game. This Puma is going to be able to pierce anything easily. Compared to the other tanks that are going to struggle piercing each other, the Puma should be able to pierce anyone quite easily. So a great shot there by the Puma crew. The Staghound retreating, but the Staghound doesn't know there's actually a second German vehicle over here. It is a 223. Will the 223 be able to finish off the Staghound? He's looking, he's right behind him. I think the 223 knows the Staghound is there, or he knows he's close by. Look at this. The Staghound using the advantage of his engine being quiet and his nimbility and his fastest speed of the turret, trying to chase off this 223. And there's a kill from Sib. His second kill in this Staghound, taking out the 223. Very unfortunate for the 223, but that's the advantage the Staghound had over the 223. The Staghound is faster, it's quieter, and it has a faster turret speed. And obviously it's firing higher caliber rounds, so it's able to do more damage. But that Staghound is weak. He's going to have to go retreat. He's going to have to go get repaired. The Puma, looking to see if he can find the Staghound maybe, or just looking to get himself into a position where he will be able to snipe a few kills. So I think the guys in the Staghound for the Allies are the only tank. Yes, they are actually the only tank currently near the objective. So the Allies are actually outnumbered at the moment in the field. Who do we have over here? We have the WFT guys, again, fielding a Panhard. They're just playing quiet. They're playing patient. The commander is at hatch, giving him greater visibility so he can look. They know there's one Staghound still alive, so it looks like they're trying to find where this last Staghound is before they're moving into the objective. So we've got the Staghound here from Sib. Very low on health. One shot from the Puma and he's going to be dead. He's hanging back on the objective. He's not going near the objective. He's hanging back. And the Puma, we'll zoom on over to the Puma now. It looks like the Puma is just holding this position here. It's actually a great position for this to hold. So the Germans actually at the moment have the capture zone completely encircled. They can watch both in the north and the south. They know there's one Staghound still nearby. And it's going to be a while before the Germans get any reinforcements for themselves. So we've got the Panhard again here from the WFT guys. It's that Random and Baliwan Kenobi in the Panhard who did a great job at the beginning of the game, where all the German tanks got wiped out, apart from these guys in their these guys in their Panhard, where they managed to get 2 kills on the Allies, with 2 Daimlers destroyed by these guys at the start of the game, which helped the Germans even up the battle. So we've got the Staghound moving now. Staghound and Puma very close to each other. They should be able to hear each other's engines at this point. They should hear the faint sound of each other's engines. And it looks like the Staghound has heard the Puma. The Puma does have a louder engine. So the Puma has probably... the Staghound looks like he's seen the Puma, but it looks like he's a bit stuck in this ditch. First shot on the Puma, a good land. It did pen, it did do damage. One more shot might kill the Puma here, and he did. Another shot there by the Staghound getting a kill on the Puma. So these Stib guys, 3 tank kills to their name now in that stub. There wasn't an exchange going on over here. It looks like the guys in the Panhard, gotta say, these WFT guys in this Panhard are doing an amazing job so far. They actually got a kill on a Greyhound. But it looks like they are actually under fire. They have seen another tank maybe in front of it. One shot coming in there, though, from behind. This Panhard is now sandwiched between 2 tanks. A shot there being missed. Panhard doing its best to retreat, using its speed. Ooh, narrowly missing there. Panhard using... this is what I mentioned at the start. These ditches. You can use these ditches to your advantage. These are only small tanks. You can hide in the ditches to break line of sight. So the WFT guys retreating, getting 1 kill, and getting out of there. They might drive straight into a Staghound though. Yep, straight in front of them, a Staghound. And they're getting another kill there. WFT doing amazing. Bagging themselves a 2nd kill there with their Panhard. They are still under fire. They're under fire by 2 tanks now, so it looks like a Steward. The Steward is actually under fire by, I'm going to guess, a P2. We've got a GCO clan here. It's Trill Mike and Crook Shades. It looks like the WFT guys were destroyed. They were taken out by a Greyhound. But you gotta say, the WFT guys in their Panhard, so far they've used 2 Panhards and they've secured 4 good kills. So once again, the Allies have the advantage on the cap. They have a Steward and a Greyhound nearby on cap. There's actually an exchange going on over here, maybe. So we have a German armored over here. It is a 223 using the river or stream to hide line of sight. But it looks like he's been heard. This Daimler maybe heard his engine. He knows something's out here and he's looking for it. So it sounds like there was an exchange going on over here. We've got the Steward. The Steward under fire from, I think, 2 tanks, maybe? We'll just hide the nameplates for now. There was a shot exchanged over here, and the Steward is looking in the direction of where there are 2 German tanks. So over here we have 2 P2s again. It's interesting how the Germans, they keep fielding the P2s, but we've seen the P2s be effective in deflecting shots. So I imagine the P2s actually do have good armor against the tanks they're currently going against, because they've been They've been deflecting a lot of shots, but the problem with the P2s, they might be armored, they might be deflecting shots, but they're not doing a lot of damage. Only having a smaller caliber shot, they're not doing a lot of damage. So we've got the Steward charging forward now. He's going to charge straight in front of these P2s, already under fire by one P2. The Steward missing. Missed his second shot. I don't think the Steward knows there's actually two P2s here. The Steward is continuing to push forward. He did land one shot on Pierce. This P2 is... They actually don't know. They actually don't know the Steward has flanked forward. They're having to readjust now. The Steward is taking a lot of damage, but he might take out one P2 here. The P2 missing his shots. Blinded. Can the second P2 save him? Ooh, very, very lucky there. Bro, Nissan, and Raven got very lucky. That Doom Catalyst was close by to take out the Steward. Great work by the Steward there, rushing forward, knowing he had speed, not only his own speed, but also his turret speed. Well, it might be too late now because the Staghound is here. The Staghound getting one kill. Can he get the second kill? The Staghound might actually not know there's a second P2 here. The Staghound, I don't think he knows there's a second P2. So, Blood Blister managing to finish off Raven and Bro Nissan. Doom and Breadhead managing to survive. Meanwhile, over here, we've had one. The 223 has gotten into the objective. He's destroyed the Willis Jeeps. He's destroyed the French anti-tank gun, but there is still a Bren carrier alive. We now have the Greyhound coming forward, manned by John Wick and Zebra, being pushed back by the P2. Meanwhile, as well, back over on the capture zone, we've got the 223 engaging with the Staghound. Staghound managing to get the kill on the 223. Oh, and we've actually got a kill here by the P2. The P2 has managed to kill the Greyhound. I don't think the P2 actually realized that he actually killed both crewmen of the Greyhound, but just to make certain, he did actually blow up the Greyhound, so... Great work there by Doom. We've got the Staghound. The Staghound is low on health, and a shot coming in there from the Puma. The Puma is firing on these Staghounds. I wonder if he saw the move in Staghound, because these are just getting one kill. Did the Staghound, did the Puma see the active Staghound? He's been firing at Staghounds that are inactive and uncrewed. And then a Staghound jumping straight in front of this Puma. This should be an easy kill for the Puma. The Puma must have seen this, and he did. There's one shot. Can he land the second shot? He did. There goes one Staghound, and that Staghound drove right in front of the second Staghound. Can he finish off the second Staghound? So we've got the P2 of Doom moving in close there. The Staghound must have heard the P2. The P2 has a very loud engine compared to the Staghound, and yet the Staghound is going to drive straight behind the P2 maybe? No, in fact. No, so this 3-man crew here, not seeing a P2, sneaked on point. The Puma moving forward. And there goes the Staghound, destroyed by the Puma. Great work by the Puma crew there. And we've got a P2 on point, so they should be able to finish off everything on the objective now and take the first objective. Meanwhile, over here, I saw there was another engagement over here. We've got a Daimler, Techno, and Shorzy. Looks like they destroyed the WFT guys who were probably in another Panhard. Yep, they destroyed another Panhard. Well, the Panhard did do some damage in return, so we've got a Steward and a Daimler rushing forward now. And the Puma is in a very, very open position. If the Daimler and Steward keep pushing forward, the Puma is going to be in a very open position, and They should be able to take out this Puma if they keep pushing forward. Alright, Daily Shot, appreciate you dropping in, man. We got the Puma sneaking forward. I think that, is this still the same Puma? Or has this Puma been destroyed once? I can't remember if this is the same Puma or not. I could be wrong, but this might be the same Puma that hasn't been destroyed yet. So we have the P2 with his engine off, watching the... Oh, his engine's back on. He's watching the north. While the Puma sneaks around the complex, probably looking to destroy the last remaining vehicle. The Puma actually took a hit then, and it looks like that shot came in all the way from the steward. That's a great shot by the steward there. This Puma's going to go down. If this Puma does not move, his rear is to the steward. And there goes the Puma. What a great shot by the steward. The steward angling himself up. This is what I mentioned earlier. There is elevation to this map. People think it's just a flat map. It's not. There is elevation to this map. There are fields, there are ditches where you can climb on, and you can see for a lot further than you would expect. So the steward using the terrain there to his advantage and sneaking a long distance kill on the Puma. He also fired on the P2. We'll see if he's able to finish off this P2. This P2 is low on health. You see, that's the steward there. The steward should be able to see this P2 now. One shot, bounced. Second shot, bounced. Very unlucky for the steward. The P2 has located the steward now and is returning fire. Third shot missed by the steward. Third shot pinning the P2 from the steward. The steward is yet to take any damage. And there goes the P2 destroyed by the steward. You've got to say that's great work there by... Who is in the steward? Crooked Shades and Mike again. They're doing a great job over there. Back on board over on Shorzy and Techno. They did manage to kill the 223 here. I think they one-shot the 223. I heard one shot go out. So the Allies have managed to reclaim the objective. We have Techno and Shorzy in a Daimler, and we've got Crooked Shades with Mike holding at an angle, holding the elevated ground at the back. So the Allies have once again managed to reclaim the first objective. We have a P2 over here, manned by Brony and Raven. I don't know if it's in the rules, but if I was the Germans at this point, I would start putting out either Panhards or Pumas. They need something that packs a punch. We're seeing the P2s, they're able to take these shots and they're able to deflect the shots. But they just don't do damage. They don't do damage. Compared to the Allies, where they're all got a big gun, they've got a cannon. So the Daimler moving forward. The Daimler probably heard the P2. The P2 is very loud, and the moment the Daimler got close, the P2 turned his engine back on. So the Daimler probably heard the P2 moving. It looks like the P2 probably heard the Daimler as well, though, because they are quite close. They both had their engines on. So Bro, using the ditch here, so you can see he's almost perfectly covered from his right flank. He's able to watch all the way up this road. And then we've got the Puma over here. From Bramler and Nickelman. Engine on. The Daimler should have been able to hear the Puma engine as well, because he's really close. The Daimler probably knows he's surrounded at this point. He's just going to stay quiet, keep his engine off. And the Puma does not know there's a Daimler close. Maybe that's a bit of miscommunication there from the Allies with their tanks, but the P2 should have warned the Puma that there's a Daimler nearby. But it looks like the Puma is going to rush the objective. The steward. The steward using the destroyed tank as cover for the time being, but he is moving again. You can hear the engine. Oh, a shot going out there. It looks like the P2 decided to move forward, and he's under fire. A shot going out from the Puma on the Staghound here. The Staghound chasing the P2. P2 bouncing the shot. The P2 is going to drive straight into the steward though. The P2 is surrounded now by the steward and also the Staghound chasing him. And there goes the P2. It looks like he was ammo racked by the Staghound. Another exchange going on over here. Oh, the Daimler is shooting a destroyed tank. When a P2 is charging him down, the P2 should be able to get the kill here on the Daimler. And there goes the Daimler. Breadhead and Doomcastle is finishing off the Daimler of Techno. The Puma creeping forward. It looks like he spotted the steward. Missing a shot there. That's very unfortunate. He could have one-shot the steward there. He missed his shot though. Good second shot there. The steward is also under fire from P2. And this should be lights out for the steward. No, one more shot. And there goes the steward. Good kill there from Browver and Nickelman. So again, it's now the Germans who have the advantage on the field. They have a P2 that is heavily damaged, but they also have a Puma that is able to pack a lot of damage. There is one Staghound up on the ridgeline. He's probably going to be able to spot this Puma quite easily. Oh, it's a Panhard, sorry. Of all things, it's a Panhard. There's one shot, goes out. It's only minor damage, though, on the Puma. Second shot, good hit right onto the engine of the Puma. Puma should be one shot. Puma getting lucky. Oh, but the Panhard taking a shot from behind. The Panhard flanked by a Panhard. Betrayal. Betrayal. French tanks betraying each other there. The Puma very lucky getting saved by his Panhards. Getting saved by the WFT guys. And the Puma has destroyed the Brent. So it looks like the Germans have taken the first objective. So it took a while. There was a lot of back and forth. But the Germans have destroyed the last objective vehicle. And it looks like there will be, I believe, a 3-minute pause now. But that was good work there by WFT guys. Oh. My game crashed a little bit there, but it looks like we're okay. Great work by the WFT guys there, flanking the Puma. Flanking the Panhard, sorry. And saving the Puma. So the Germans have taken the first objective. There will be a 3-minute pause at this point before the second objective is unlocked, so they can move in on the second objective. So we'll just wait and we'll just chill for the next round to begin. I have this problem where I drink a lot of G Fuel when I'm about to cast or do something. I really need a pee. I really need a pee. Wait, was that just an exchange? There was just, I thought there might be a pause, but it looks like there's actually an exchange going on right now. The WFT guys, oh no, sorry, there is a pause. There's a 3-minute pause before the next objective opens, but there is no ceasefire. So the guys of Sib, Willex, and Sweet managing to flank and take out the WFT guys in the Panhard. So Breadhead and Doom in a P2, Brony and Raven in a P2, and then we've got the 223 by, is that Slyke and Broke, and then the Puma by Storm. Looks like all the German tanks are going to go back for repair before they move in onto the second objective. They might be about to take a 2-2-2. Change things up a little bit. 2-2-2 could be good. It's got the same gun as the 2-2-3 and also, I believe, the P2. But obviously, the 2-2-2 has speed on its side. It's able to move around the map a lot quicker. The only disadvantage to the 2-2-2 is lack of armor. The gunner is exposed. And it has a delay to its engine, so it's not. It takes a while to get going. It can't move from a standing start very quickly. It takes a while to get going. So we've got both P2s returning to get repaired. And I imagine what the Germans are going to do, they're going to group all their tanks together and they're going to move in onto the second objective together. We look on the map, you can see the second objective is around point of interest 50 and 46. That is where the second point of interest will be, just above. How do you pronounce that? Ujavazuznist. 100% every time. Nailed it, nailed it. So we've got the 2-2-3 from Slike and WFT Broke 21. Moving forward. The driver deciding to take an interesting approach. Deciding he's going to stick his head out the window for this one. Interesting tactic. We'll see if it pays off for them. Moving into the factories up on the river. I've actually never been over to these factories. Is there actually a layer of this map where these factories are an objective to take? Because I've never fought over here, and how cool would it be to fight in these factories? This should be an objective of one of the layers. Looks like someone took a lot of time in the development team from Periscope to design this little factory area. And I've never seen it used in a drill game, aside from hiding fobs occasionally. Or repair stations. Oh. We do have some shots fired, but I think that was just... I don't know what they're shooting at. They're shooting at the barn building. Either they're just testing. Either he's just testing his aim. I'm going to guess he was just testing his aim because he is shooting just directly at a barn building. So we've got Stewart and Staghound over here watching the north flank. We have some German tanks moving around there. I'm going to guess that's a Panhard. Yeah, we've got a Panhard on the riverbank along with the 2-2-3 nearby. But again, these tanks from the Germans. The Panhard has got a higher caliber, but is it going to be able to do significant damage to the Allies? You can see the Panhard is driving straight towards the Staghound, and just like that, the Staghound one shot on the Panhard. One shot on the Panhard, just like that. So we've got the 2-2-3 hiding in the building. So it looks like what the Allies are doing, they're forming a line with their tanks. Looks like they're forming a perimeter line with their tanks. So we've got one tank here by Crook Shades, a Steward watching this angle. We've got a tank in the south watching the south approach, and then we've got two tanks in the north watching the northern approach, and then we've got one tank who's just returning from respawn. I'm going to guess this third tank will probably go and help in the south once he gets to the battle. So yeah, you can see the GCO guys have formed a perimeter with their tanks. One Steward in the north watching the northern approach. One Steward in, what would you class this? Kind of the west, watching the west approach. And then they've got one Steward in the south, watching the southwest approach. So great organization there by the Allies. Placing their tanks in positions that covers all angles. Another shot going out there. So this is the tank that came back from repairs. They are firing at something. Did they manage to see the 2-2-3? I don't think they did. Oh, they did. Oh, I'm gonna guess it's render distance. I'm gonna guess the buildings haven't rendered for the GCO guys, and this 223 might just be driving in the open because they're shooting directly at the wall. So I'm gonna guess render distance means those guys can't actually see the wall. Happens quite a lot on drill because drill is such a flat map for the most part. Sometimes you can see a tank 600 meters away. You think it's just driving in the open across the field, but it's actually hidden behind a building or trees or a wall. So that looks like what happened there. So the 223 has been discovered, but he's quite safe at the moment. And we've got some German tanks flanking around here. We have the guys in SIB. It looks like they're watching the... They're kind of watching the rear, making sure no one sneaks behind, and they might be outnumbered here. Again, the Staghound, very quiet engine. He's going to be able to hear the P2s sneaking forward. In fact, right in front of him, right there, look, there's a... Which is going to see each other first? The P2 should be able to see the Staghound. The Staghound definitely knows the P2's there because he can hear the engine from a mile away. The Staghound retreating, trying to get out of the way. And it looks like the P2 didn't see the Staghound. The P2's engine too loud. And the camouflage of the Staghound was enough to hide him. But now the SIB in the Staghound is right behind the P2. And this P2 will be lucky if he survives. I'm going to guess this P2 will go down. The P2 very low on health now. SIB, Willex, and Sweet Tag just driving around the P2. The P2 unable to use its speed. Well, the P2 doesn't have the speed over the Staghound. And this should just be an easy kill for the Staghound here. The P2 is doing its best to try and angle itself so the gunner can get shots on target. Yeah, and just like that. Although they did some minor damage. Just unlucky there by the P2. But there is a second P2, and he knows there's just been an engagement. And look at those shots going out. What great shots there. Great shots there from Brony. Taking out the Staghound. He traced the Staghound. Bang, 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 bang. Just like that, the Staghound goes down. Great shots there by the P2. Awesome kill there. Awesome kill. We do have the GCO guys. They are moving a steward forward. This was the steward that was watching the south. Obviously, the Staghound would have alerted his team that there are tanks approaching. Meanwhile, over here, the WFT guys have sneaked a Panhard near the objective. So the Panhard guys have sneaked forward, and they'll be able to hear the engine for the steward. Obviously, the steward has a heavier engine. The stewards are louder, and all the allies at the moment are fielding stewards. So this Panhard might be able to get some easy kills on some stewards here. The Panhard's seen a steward bounce. He should be able to get another shot here, though. The gunner looking to land a second shot. Probably waiting for the steward to stand still to maybe ammo rack him or take his engine out. Another bounce there from the Panhard. Very unlucky. There is a battle going on in the battle. We'll zoom in on that battle later on. This Panhard, this is where a Puma would be a lot better. The Panhard just lacking the damage. If this was a Puma, he would have been able to kill that steward very easily. Another shot going out. Not damaging. The steward has no idea where these shots are coming from. They're doing their best to locate where the shots are coming from. Another bounce. I got a feeling this Panhard will lose this exchange if he's not able to pierce. Even though he's well hidden. So we've got Crooked Shays and Mike are the ones under fire. And it looks like the Panhard is... Are they going to charge the steward? It looks like they're going to charge the steward. The steward turning his turret. He obviously hears the Panhard. And a shot missing there from the WFT guys. He's trying to hit the engine. Look at the acrobatics here from Panhard. And he finally pierces the steward. piercing them again. This is very unlucky though for the Panhard. The Panhard might actually die here. Crash it down. He was doing amazing at first, but he very luckily he was able to get away from that shot there. The Steward should be able to kill the Panhard quite easy when he does land his shots. It's going to be risky again for the Panhard. He's actually pushed over the Steward. He's actually pushed over the Steward. And this is 500 IQ play here from the Panhard. This is what you don't see in public lobbies. What an amazing move there by the Panhard. Credit to Bally Candy and Da Random Guy. Amazing 500 IQ, big brain play there. I wonder if they saw my my tank tips on the Reddit. Great play there by WFT, guys. That was a big brain 500 IQ play. Meanwhile, there has been some exchanges going on here. It looks like the Germans have actually sneaked onto the capture zone and they've taken out the Bren carrier. There are some battles that are being exchanged here, though. I'm sorry I'm missing these battles. The WFT guys have run into... The WFT guys, unfortunately, after their amazing play, they did run into the SIP guys in the Staghound, and they were taken out. Meanwhile, there is another battle going on here. It looks like the P2 is going up against a Steward. The P2 might actually get the kill on the Steward here. The Steward is very low on health, but so is the neck and neck. The next shot from the Steward is going to kill the P2. The Steward, by the narrowest of margins, managing to kill the P2. There is the dead 223 here, but look at this. There is a Puma here. The Puma by Bramver and Nickel has snuck into the objective. They destroyed the Bren carrier, but they still need to destroy both MSPs and these Jeeps. They have seen the Willis Jeeps. I don't think they can actually shoot over this wall. The wall is, yeah, they're going to have to get a little bit closer to be able to shoot over this wall, I believe. There's one Jeep. There's the second Jeep. And the Staghound from the SIP guys sneaking behind the Puma. I think that this is going to be the end of the Puma. Puma returning fire. The Staghound needs to pierce on this shot or he is dead. I am not quite sure what happened there. I think they shot each other at the exact same time and managed to take each other out. That was quite unusual, but it looks like the Puma and the Staghound managed to kill each other. We've got a P2 here. The P2 is under fire from two Staghounds. Two Stewards, sorry. This P2 really needs to move. He's under fire by two Stewards. He's been pinned twice. Two more shots and he should be dead. One shot missing. He is being pierced from the right. He's using this barn as cover. One more shot and this P2 is going to go down. This should be it. Getting very lucky. This P2 getting extremely lucky here. But this should be a rare shot. I can't explain how lucky Doom is right now. I've never seen a P2 on so low health deflect so many shots. Don't tell me he's actually going to escape. Do not tell me that he's actually going to escape. He's deflecting shots from 3 tanks right now. He's being chased by a Staghound. He's being shot by 2 Stewards. And he's deflecting every shot. But this should be the end here. This Staghound should be able to finish him off straight from behind. And there he goes. Crooked. Clean up the kill there. Meanwhile, Sleek and Broke 21 have got into the objective. They've destroyed an MSP and they've destroyed the last MSP. So even though the allies have more tanks near the objective, Sleek and Broke 21 managed to sneak in and take out the last vehicles. So the Germans have taken the second objective. I don't think the Allies actually know that the Germans have actually taken their last vehicles. Yeah, they didn't know. They were not covering the flank. So even though the Germans were defending and they managed to take out pretty much every... the Allies were defending and they managed to take out every single tank. They let 1-2-2-3 sneak through because they wasn't watching the angle. And that's it. He took the objective. So there's only one objective left now for the Allies to defend. And you can see Sib rushing to the next objective. The 2-2-3 is right in front of him. Looks like he hasn't seen him. He hasn't seen him, and he didn't hear him. Very unlucky there for Crooked and Mike. They could have got an easy kill on a 2-2-3 there. Very unlucky for him. We'll zoom on over here now to the only 3-man crew this game, and it's Scruffy the Seal, Literacy, and Blood Blister in a Staghound, and they're about to run right in front of a Panhard. Oh no, that's a Steward, sorry. Is that a Steward? It's a Steward. Oh, I see. Okay. Then, how did the Staghound not see the Steward? How did the Steward miss the Staghound? And there goes the Staghound. So, I understand what has happened now. So, because the Germans took the first objective, they now have the ability to use a few Allied tanks. Because we saw there were Allied tanks on the first objective that were unmanned. And this is something custom to community events like this. Admins can spawn vehicles from the Allies that the Germans can use, and vice versa. So just like real life, where if the Allies captured a German tank, they would use the German tank, and again vice versa. But it looks like this Steward might go down because he has been flanked by the Sib guys in the Staghound, but the Staghound got stuck in the trees, and this might be a second kill here from the WFT guys in the Steward. Steward missing his second shot. Can he land one more shot on the Staghound to take him out? They're both one shot from either might kill each other. 2 bounces there. Another kill from the WFT guys in the stolen Steward. So this is Germans inside the Steward, and there is another tank creeping forward. They probably heard the engine. It's a Steward. Steward versus Steward. Let's see which Steward is more superior. German Steward versus British Steward. Bouncing off each other here. The WFT guys landing one shot, but they did just get stuck on a tree. Techno and Shorzy struggling to land shots. They did land one there, both bouncing off each other. The WFT guys try to flank around to get a rear shot, which they're gonna get. Yep, rear shot there. My money's on the WFT guys for this cruise. Second shot in the engine there. One more shot or 2 more shots might kill them. The Techno guys landing the shot in return. And the Techno guys managing to finish off the German stolen Steward there. Although the WFT guys managed to get 2 kills with that Steward, so great exchange by them. What a Puma here, sneaking forward to the Nickelman. Got a Puma sneaking forward here. Oops, sorry. Yeah, so the guys in chat are asking how they got a Steward. I think it's in the rules that they're allowed to use it. What a Staghound here from Crooked Shays looking to defend the objective. So it looks like there might be an exchangement here. Nickel. There's a shot going out there, but I'm not quite sure who shot at who. This Puma should be able to The Puma should be able to hear. The steward sneaking back, probably trying to go repair. And what is that over there in the distance? So there is actually a tank up on the railway track for the Germans. And the Civ guys are back out in a staghound. I wonder if these guys saw. It is only a 223. So they have spotted the staghound. They're probably reporting it to their team. I wonder if this 223 is going to do the same as last time. He's going to wait for his team to get into battle. And the 223 might sneak in on the objective and just take the objective while the Allies are busy fighting the tanks. Got the Civ guys and the staghound. Seeing the Puma, they're firing on the Puma. And getting the kill on the Puma, just like that. Storm Nickelback and his crewmen going down to Willex and Sweetak, who managed to see a good angle there. Actually, they used the high ground of the field to be able to see that Puma creeping forward. We've got Techno and Shorzy. They're probably going to go back for repair. We've got Sleek and Broke 21 moving in with the 223. Shot going out from the steward. Did the steward actually see the 223? Oh, he's shooting at a tree. I think someone needs to tell him that he was shooting at a tree. Oh, the 223 has been spotted by Willex as Willex is roaming the field near the objective. And just like that, the 223 goes down to Willex, who was looking, he was coming back to defend near the cap. So there are German armor moving forward. I've made the mistake again of drinking too much G Fuel. I really need a pee. So, this is the final objectives for the Germans to kill. If I was the Allies at this point, I'd have one tank up on the railway track. Obviously, it's very raised ground. And a tank up on this railway track will be able to see everything nearby. He'll be able to cover the flanks and warn any tank. Well, warn his team when Germans are approaching. So if I was the Allies, I would have one tank up on the railway track. As a scout, I'd have one tank near the capture zone, ready to kill any sneaking 223s or 22s that might sneak forward. And I'd have the rest of my staghounds just roaming around in the field. There's a Puma over here. They probably heard each other because they are this close. Look how close these tanks are. They would have definitely heard each other. Shot going out from the Puma. Missing the Staghound. So the Staghound definitely knows there's a Puma nearby. The Staghound probably going to get an easy kill here on the Puma. The Staghound just has speed on its side. Able to get behind the Puma like this. Look, and the Puma just doesn't have the agility. Doesn't have the movability of the Staghound. One more shot of this Puma should go down. So there is a P2 firing at the Staghound, but I don't think it's going to be enough to kill the Staghound. It is some good shots coming in here, though. He might actually get the kill on the Staghound. I take it back. He actually got the kill on the Staghound. So great work by Raven and Brony. That's their second long-range kill with the P2, but they are under fire. They're under fire by two tanks, so it's probably best they retreat at this point. And they are behind the hedges and behind the ditch. Now, although they did just get hit again, they did just get pierced. We've got the Panhard trying to sneak forward. This Panhard probably not a wise thing to do because he knows his teammate was just getting shot at nearby. Returning fire on a Staghound, getting a good hit on the Staghound. The Staghound is now retreating. So the Panhard helping the P2, pushing back the Allies. Meaning the P2 lives to fight another day. P2 is very low on health though, and as I said, there is a tank up on the railway track, look. You can see there is a steward using the high ground over there, so we'll have to see. We'll fly over to that steward actually. So it's John Wick and Zebra in the steward. This is the highest part of the map that a tank can get to. And just look at the visibility from this position. He's able to see all across the low fields. Commander out. They did just fire on the P2. Oh no, sorry, that was the Panhard he just fired on. The P2 is still holding its position. What a shot there. A shot from the steward on the P2, managing to one-shot the P2. That was the WFT, guys. The steward did see the Panhard trying to sneak around. He saw the Panhard go down this road, so he knew he was approaching from that angle. So unfortunate for the P2, but that's the advantage of taking that high ground. If you take that high ground, you're able to see across the entire field. The P2 now doing the same thing, but he's going to be spotted by the steward. And there you can see one shot already coming in. This P2 in a very bad position here. He's going to have to retreat. He's on his own. He's probably getting flanked by other tanks as well. The steward missing shots, however. The P2 returning fire. He hasn't done any damage to the steward yet. They're probably too far away for him to actually pierce the steward with the smaller caliber gun. The P2 has been flanked now. He's taking a lot of shots, so he did just get pierced from the side. I'm trying to look where he got shot from the side. And just like that, he goes down. Good attempt. Good attempt by the steward, but you can see the two strike hounds here roaming the fields, using their speed to their advantage. Again, it's not only just the speed of the tanks, it's also the reload speed. It's the caliber of shell they're firing, and also the turret speed. They just have such a huge advantage over the German tanks. There is a Panhard, though, coming forward here from Doom Calibus and Breadhead. The 223 sneaking forward. This 223 must have been heard by this steward. There's no way this steward didn't hear the 223. There's absolutely no way that steward did not hit the 223. There goes one vehicle. The steward is engaging the Panhard at the moment. He killed the Panhard, but he has no idea that the 223 snuck behind. And just like that, the 223 has managed to destroy two of the objective vehicles. And the steward still doesn't know. This is the problem. The steward hasn't turned his engine off, so he can't hear the 223. If you're a tanker, you need to get used to turning your engine off. Luckily, the Staghounds are here and they're aware of what is going on. The Staghounds engaging the 223. Can they kill it in time, though? They did. They managed to kill it in time. But look at the 223. Managed to kill 3 of the objective vehicles, so only the Brain Carrier and the French MSP is alive. Luckily, Willix and Steakax were paying attention. I've got a Puma. Puma sneaking behind the steward, but also the Puma himself being flanked by a Staghound. The steward fired on the Staghound. The steward just fired on his own tank. This could be disastrous here for the Allies. This could be disastrous for the Allies here. The Puma is outnumbered. The Puma does go down. That could have been disastrous there for the Allies. The steward firing on the Staghound. Puma very unfortunate not to get the kill on the steward and then the Staghound. But you can see all the Allies fell back. There is now 4 tanks on the objective. There's still one out on the railway track holding its position so it can watch across the train easily. So again, that was Techno and Shorzy. They not paying attention, had their own tank engine on, so they didn't hear literally the 223 yards away from sneaking behind. And that is something tank drivers, you'll see the professional tank drivers, people who play tanks a lot, they get used to turning their engine off. Because while you're in your tank and you have your own engine on, it's very hard to hear anything. It's very hard to hear anything when your own engine is on. So you can see Seal and Blood Blister there turning their engine off, being quiet. Now Techno turned their engine off as well. I'm trying to see where the other tanks are. So we've still got one allied tank up on the railway track, watching through the fields. We've got Shades patrolling around in the Staghound. We have I think this is another 223. But you can hear how quiet the 223 is compared to the other German tanks. I'd say the 223 is probably one of the quietest German armored vehicles, if not the quietest. It's very quiet. So he's able to get in close. But just like that, he's under fire from the Steward. The Steward managing to land 2 shots, but the 223 is now stuck. And just like that, Techno and Shorzy managing to take the 223 out. Good work by them. Good work by them. There are more German tanks moving forward. I'm not sure how much time is left on this game. The Germans did get 15 minutes for every objective they've currently taken, so they did, in total, they've managed to get an extra half an hour. A nice little barricade here, meaning the Germans have to weave through the trees. They can't just drive straight into the road, straight down the road, should I say. But you got to say, the Allies are looking a little bit weak at the moment. They have 1 damaged Staghound, 1 damaged Steward. They do have 2 other tanks reinforcing, Crook Shades here and a Staghound, and I'm going to guess that's another Staghound coming forward from Willex. Yeah, another Staghound creeping forward for Willex. Got a Panhard coming forward from WFT. So the Germans, they only have to destroy 2 more vehicles, I believe, and then they've won the match overall. I haven't been keeping on a tally on tank kills, but I would say the Allies maybe have a slight lead over the Germans when it comes to vehicle destroys. So Willex holding this flank. He maybe heard the Panhard, because he's Willex, we've seen throughout this entire game, he's turning the engine off of the Staghound. He turns the engine off, glides without the engine on, and then turns the engine back on again. So it looks like they have found the Panhard. Exchange is going out. They are even. The Panhard might actually get the kill here. I believe it reloads quicker. It does. The Panhard does reload quicker than the Staghound, but he missed his second shot. If he landed that second shot, the WFT guys probably would have got the kill there, but he just missed that second shot. There is an exchange going on here. We've got Slick moving forward in a P2. We'll go on board Slick for a while. Well, you can see though, all the Allied tanks are damaged. If the Germans concentrate their forces and work together, they would be able to wipe out the entire Allied team at this point, because all their tanks are so heavy. There goes one tank immediately. I'm not quite sure who got the kill on that tank. It might have come in. It might be Nickelman, but this P2 has been flanked from behind. There is a second Staghound. Second shot going out, missing. The Staghound is weak. The P2 should be able to win this engagement if he lands his shots. The Staghound trying to get behind the P2, but look at that. Look at the driving by the P2, spinning. Trying to keep the Staghound from getting behind him where his armor's weak. Trying to keep the gunner on target so the gunner doesn't have to turn the turret. Great piece of driving there by... That was probably by Broke, I believe. Great piece of driving there by him. The P2 is weak, though. He is being engaged by the steward from Techno. He needs to be careful. One more shot, and this P2 is going to get destroyed. He has to be really careful here. There goes the P2. Great piece of driving there, though, from the P2. And we've got two tanks pushing forward now. We've got a 2-2 and we've got a Puma. The 2-2 took fire from the steward, but the steward goes down to the 2-2. The steward was so low on health, and that might be it. There is no allied tanks nearby to defend. We can see that the tank from the railway track is rushing back as fast as possible to defend. Will he make it in time to stop the 2-2? There's only 5 minutes left in the game. It all comes down to this. There's one allied tank. It looks like a steward against a 2-2 and a Puma. The allied tank rushing back as fast as he can. Will he get the kill on the 2-2? The 2-2 is stuck. 2-2 goes down. Now it's Puma versus Steward. The Puma should win this engagement. And just like that, the Puma gets the kill on the Steward. All the Puma has to do now, and it's supported by a second Puma, is go in and destroy the last vehicles. All he has to do is get the kills on the last vehicles, and that might be it. There is an allied tank rushing across as fast as he can. I don't think he's going to make it in time, though. The Staghound is getting close. The Staghound might be able to save it. If the Staghound can make it in time. The Germans struggling to find where the last vehicle is. The Puma shooting the Staghound through the windows of the barn. This is really close, but all they have to do is destroy that French lorry, and that's it. And that's game for the Germans. That will be game for the Germans. They won the. They destroyed the last vehicle, even though a valiant final effort here from the Allies to try rush and defend the capture zone. That will be GG. See the Allies getting here just a moment too late. Good game all round. Good job to everyone involved.